I wanted to tell her why I go to church more. I wanted to tell her it is not faith, but a heartbreak, but I couldn't. Instead, I opened my mouth trying to unsing a heartbreak with a kiss, but she stopped me, covered her mouth with her grandmother's scarf, and she frowned in fabric. And I knew I couldn't kiss between her grandmother's fingers of wool.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Creative Space second episode. Wow guys, you guys have been so amazing. Thank you so much for showing me the love. I can see the views are going up, and also the subscribers, they are going up. Please do not forget, I am your beautiful host, Zintle Bridget Giane, and this video is sponsored by Sense Studios. Guys, please do come check them out. Check the studio out. You don't have to book immediately. You can just come check, and if you like it, then you book. But I promise you, you will want to book immediately when you get here. So as you know, Creative Space, I am never alone. I'm always with the creatives. And today I have someone for you guys. Woo! The writer, the theater, whatever, Hello, hi, Soetry.
Hello, Zinta, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I know you are busy. I think last week, was it last week or last of last week, you were busy?
Yeah, it was hectic.
It was hectic.
Really hectic.
So thank you so much for making the time to come to Creative Space and just sit down and talk with me.
Thank you for having me.
I truly appreciate it. So I call you Soetry, right? But your name is actually not Soetry. But
Yes,
I actually lean more on the Soetry one.
You do. You're one
So
of the few.
please do tell our guests who is Soetry, who is Solly, like introduce yourself, and yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people know me as Soetry, especially in the poetry spaces, right?
Yeah.
But my name is actually Solly Ramatswi, and Soetry is actually it comes from slam. I was just in the spaces and I was like, I need something cool. I was in that era and I was like, solely poetry. Okay, cool. I usually overthink things.
Yeah.
So let's just have something that is that serious. So that's how it went to me being Solly to Soetry. But then now I'm back to being Solly. But I don't want to let go of the weight of the name and the whole history.
Okay.
Hence, we went from like Solly to Soetry Media, which is now the company.
Okay.
So Solly is a poet, of course, a script writer, a director, a theater maker. Sometimes I do try to write songs, but I can't sing to save my life. So I just write and then give like people like Abo, Jocelyn, and then they will do the singing.
They will do the singing for you. Okay.
So that's some of the things that I do, and that's who I am. Just 30-year-old pretty young man.
But you don't look 30. Oh my God. What are you eating?
Yeah, I found the fountain of youth.
Okay. It's overflowing. I see it's
Yes.
giving.
Yeah.
So you also forgot to mention one more thing, guys. He forgot to mention that he's also an educator.
Oh yes, sometimes I do that part time. So yeah, apparently I'm a trying teacher. I'm still running away from it sometimes because people are just going like, yeah. It's either it's like a collective of people going like, yo, please mentor me. I'm like, are you sure? Some run away before I run away. So I get happy when that happens because it's not on me. But yeah, it's something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I still want to do it more officially, like in the future.
Yeah.
Right. Now I just want to bag all these accolades and then we'll see where it
after you can
goes.
relax, then
Yes.
that's
Also,
where
they
you
make
can
me
go.
feel old because they call me sir. Yes.
Okay, so please take us through your upbringing, like as Usoli, you growing up. Like, how is that like? Because I know you come from Limpopo. People are gonna come for me because
Yes.
I hardly say the word correctly. Guys, please do not come for me. My producer is coming for me. He's like,
Yes, you hear like, how Nguni people, where are you guys getting the second M from? Right? So that's the thing that we do. Yes, I'm from Limpopo. Of course, I grew up there. So the funny thing is actually I was born that side and then I came here. I spent like until like preschool, and then when I actually was starting school, I went to that side. So
Yeah.
I was almost a coconut who was only speaking English like that side.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
The
then-
cheese pie.
Yeah, you went like, So yeah,
Yeah.
and then so yeah, I'm from a big family. You know, there's 6 of us from like our family, and of course there's mom, there's dad, my grandmother who used to call me her handbag. I get shy when she used to do that. I'm like, "Koko ke roche," yeah.
She still says you as her handbag.
Yeah, but
the
even
little
when she
boy.
passed, like she was like, "Yeah, you know, you used to be my handbag. I couldn't go anywhere without you." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I am a whole suitcase now, so I'm too heavy for you, Koko." So yeah, that's where I come from. It's a small village. It's called Pollen. Really small. Usually when I tell people, like, when they be like, "How small is it?" I'm like, imagine this: the high school would have a maximum sometimes like of us learners who are around 200, like literally from grade 8 to grade 12.
You lie.
That's all of the school, so everybody knows everyone.
Like, no, wait. All the learners from grade to grade 8.
Yeah, we have, it's like grade 8 we know it's one class, grade 9 it's one class.
Wow.
That, so it's like when I'm this side, even like when I was at a friend's this 2 days ago, I was just there like, all these people are coming out of the school. When are they finishing up, guys? Like, Bafelaneng. So,
Baning.
yeah, like, because I'm just from that place whereby you even know color of the stones and everything,
Yeah.
because like there's a lot to explore at the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's one of my favorite places ever, actually. Because
I know, you're like home. Wow,
I
that's
do.
high.
Yeah, always. I'm like, yep, I'm going there. Even my
Yeah.
stories go like a reflection of home.
Way back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what
So,
happens.
one thing I want to know is when you were growing up, you see, as kids, when we were growing up, you were like, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this. What is it that you wanted to become?
I thought I was going to be something alongside. It's either a doctor. Then more in high school, I thought I was going to be like a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Because I was so good in like biology, like in agriculture and
Yeah.
everything. I thought I'm going to do that. I don't know how I ended up here. This thing I was doing for fun. I was just that guy who was seen as like vocal a bit.
Yeah.
And then jiggy, I don't know how it got to me. Like,
Being a poet, being
yeah,
a
like I'm
theater
like,
script writer, and all that.
especially like almost full time.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I used to think I'm gonna be a physiotherapist or a doctor, you know.
Yeah, you saw yourself. Everyone, when we grow up, guys, we all want to be doctors, eh?
Yeah.
So how does the journey of Soetry start? Because I think we have had conversations, but we never really like touched on how you got to be where you are. I think you told me like some few stories about slams, how you would
Yeah.
try and then things wouldn't go well until things got well. So can you please unpack that for us, like the journey of becoming Soetry?
Yeah, interesting. So it goes to the question that people would ask, when did you start writing?
Yeah.
Right. It's such a tricky question to ask when answering the exact question, because it goes from, I'm going to say like maybe 2014, but before 2014, I was writing as much as they were work poems, but
Yeah.
I was still writing because I believe in build-ups, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say officially-ish, I'd say from 2011.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
when like we were like really doing it.
How old were you then?
I was in grade 2011. Where was I? I was in grade 10.
Oh, okay.
How old was I? Yeah, the
okay.
math is not math anymore. I ran out of fingers. So
okay.
yeah, and then I remember I used to, you know, like, because I used to be like Soldier Boy, because there was a bit of some rap there.
Yeah.
right?
Okay. You rapped. Okay.
I
okay.
used to, yeah. I'm glad that like things like Spotify weren't as popular where I'm from back then, because
Yeah.
right now it'd be like,
What
someone
the
save me.
heck is going
Help.
on?
Right. And then I used to call myself a prodigy, which was another rap name. And then
Okay.
went to Blue Pages. Blue Pages was a name that I used to write under. And then, so that was like poetry. And then I came this side.
Yeah.
Didn't know anyone. I didn't know any creatives until I remember one of the first people to actually get me to be like fired up again was like, do me, Ivan. It's from like ZB in Limpopo. And then I heard this other poem, and I'm like, what? People do this with their work? And then I got inspired.
Yeah.
And I remember even being invited to one of his festivals. It was my first time being like, oh, people do this. And when I got there, I did one poem and then came back and I was like, I'm not going back there. Did you see, guys, what people are doing? Right?
Yeah.
But then I grew. And then I remember even when the first time I went into Slam.
Yeah.
Slam is where people actually knew me. It's where the name of Soetry came from. Yeah, because I'd tell someone like, I'm Solly. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. And then they'll hear someone saying like, hey, Soetry. I'm like, wait, you are Soetry? And then I'm like, oh, yes, there's that.
Yeah.
So I remember it was my first ever competition. Got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Interesting. So competition is where I actually grew. Because I wasn't this person who was just like flowing. I
Really?
would choke. I was that person. I'm like,
So you would write, but when it comes to performing, you would be like,
I was shaky.
was it a stage fright or?
Yeah. I was a very shy kid. People might not believe it sometimes. I was like that person who could barely hold a 15-minute conversation.
You lie.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard to believe now. And then from competition, because it was like, trying to speak out loud. And then after that, I went to CSP. CSP is what really groomed me and grew me. And then after that, I went to like Word and Sound.
Yeah.
Got moved the first year. The second year, I came back with the title, fortunately.
Okay.
So I was that person who goes to almost every space. And then from poetry, I was like, you run into a wall when you're doing something like, what more can I do?
What more can I bring?
And then that's when I started bringing up my things for... I would compile my poems for a showcase. Yeah. And I used to do like poems, a whole set of poems. I used to enjoy that. Going like, what more can I add onto this? I think that's how collaboration started for me. And then that's how the transition from just the poetry to having theater went into, and that was in 2019. Went into an audition, and then Kenneth was one of the adjudicators. I didn't make it through the audition. After that, he came and was like, yeah, I want us to work. In my head, I'm like, yeah, let me pass. Right now, you want me
to work with me. Like, what's going on?
Exactly. Yeah. And then I was working with dancers. I was the only poet. I'm like, guys, I just wanted to speak. Now you're making me move trolleys. How did we get here? Yeah. Right. But it was some of the most awesome things to actually get to do. Yeah. Because I went to like being a performer in the theater to now me writing. And being like, oh, yeah, this. Yeah. So, and then now getting to also, because one of my first babies, like the other productions were like where people call me in to come in as a performer or as a writer or as both. And then the first time it was in 2022 where I was like, yeah, let's do this.
Tired.
Like,
You're
my
tired.
first baby. Yeah. And that's what Sinking came to be, and it did so well. And my second baby is the one that just won the Swagala Festival right now at the Market Theatre, which is like Prayers. Yeah. So, every time when I look back, I'm like,
you can't wait. If I mean, from
that happened
2011 to 2024.
It's overwhelming.
So, like, take us through the struggles. When you see people performing there, and you're like, I don't think I'm good enough to do this. Like, how did you gain that courage? Because I used to be a writer. Like, I love writing, but when it comes to performing, I'm like, I would go there and just freeze. So how did you overcome that fear? As like you said, you were this shy person, you couldn't hold a conversation, to now being Soetry and like, this big person in the theater space and in like poetry space. Like, how did you get to overcome that stage fright? How did you bloom? How did you open up? How did you become the person that you are today? For someone who's sitting there, is like, you know what, I'm inspired, I like doing this, but then
So what happened was that, so I've always been good at public speaking. So I was shy, but not in the space of class.
Oh, okay.
Right? When they're saying like presentation, they know Solly is about to eat even all the crumbs.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going for them one by one there. So what happened was that the nerves came because of like, that is like in an academic space in a way. Yeah. When it comes to those creative or social spaces, nerves, guys. They would be like, I'll attack you. So how I did that was that the more I got comfortable with the people around the space, was the more I got comfortable and how I grew.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the techniques I remember that I used to want to have is like, I don't want to see audience. Just make them dark.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, that way I'm like, you guys thinking I'm looking at you when I'm performing. And no, you're thinking I'm saying you and pointing that time. So that used to happen. And then the thing of performing a lot also.
Yeah, it helps.
They end up being just experience. Because you get to run into some of the challenges, as you asked. Things like, am I good enough?
Yeah.
Right. And the thing of like keeping you going. For example, I remember the first year of Word and Sound, and then everything is like there on Facebook, and then people are like, "Who are you looking forward to seeing, or who do you think is winning this?" And then you'd hear the other names are being called, and I'm like, "Guys, I'm part of the top 5. It's barely mentioned. It's not there. They're just going like, oh, I only know Solly."
Your name is not popping up.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. But after that, I was like, nah, let's change that.
Yeah.
And some of the like the painful things when you're in that space is
Yeah.
that I remember there was a time when someone, I can't say his name, but he really hurt me. He was like, I came second on one of the episodes of Word and Sound. Just so I remember it's when like the first time I did
Yeah.
How It Took a Village to Raise a Storm. It used to be a poem that people knew me by.
Yeah.
So when we came and then I was there and then the guy was like, nah, saying to the other guys, you guys will be fine. If Solly's able to come second, then it means that you guys are fine. Yo, it hit me, and it was before the slam. It was like the next month before the slam. It affected my performance so much because I was like, gone.
Like the confidence, it just goes down, it drops.
Really dropped. And then I was like, yeah, so those are some of the things. But they turned me into this man of steel right now. Because it's the thing of like when people talk, I'm like, oh, wait, tell me.
Like, tell me more. Yeah,
So
I
it's
want
like,
to
tell
know.
me more.
Yeah.
And then there are times when you've dealt with the one that is outside or like people's direct chats. And then now you have to deal with yourself.
With yourself.
It's like
your
imposter
conscious
syndrome.
is
It's like,
busy.
should I even be here?
Yeah.
And I remember one of the times was when I thought I figured things out during the slam, the Poetry Africa slam. Semifinals, I was there. I was on fire, right? I was there. I was raising the bar. And then when the finale is coming, everything, I started questioning it. Just like, am I even... My poems are not even worth it. Like I saw something, like everything being nothing. And then I was like, and it affected me to a point that the poems that I knew, I remember, I didn't know them. Like they were like, because I was doubting everything, right? I was on autopilot. I did the first poem and I did it. I'm like, I don't know how I made it to the end with that, but it's fine. And the second one, Yang Tripa Vele, because like, there's a poem that I know, it's like, I'm like, I know what happens here. So when that happens, it was encouraging after, because it was
you
like,
look back and then you're like,
I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't for me to take. Also, it was a thing out of the challenge wasn't because I was receiving bad energy. It was because I was receiving so much love. That is the, I know.
That's so
it is
awkward and weird. Like,
exactly,
why?
because it's like everyone is like, yo,
Or maybe,
Solly, it's yours.
Yeah,
Amy.
it's that thing where now people expect more from you. And then it's like you have to carry that around your shoulders and you're like, will I be even able to deliver the more that they want?
Exactly. And it became a thing, even go high, like at home. A lot of people, those who don't even know me, I see that there's always almost like 1,000 comments in the post that they're just saying like, we're behind you and everything. So like,
it's like you start shaking. Like,
I got hit by that. I was like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
Damn. I started like just everything being around. But it also was a good week, a good month, because a lot of things that happened there was happening. So I got hit in that department as well, just that part. And after that, I was like, I'm actually glad. I don't think I was going to be happy if it wasn't like that, because now I know what it feels like.
You know what it feels like.
I'm used to be going like, Solly boy, I love you. It's that. It's coming from inside, right? And then, so the moment I feel like you see yourself as worthy, It's going like, yeah, I'm worthy. It might be tough to convince yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Going like, no, go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you think you're not worthy, do your best so that you can be worthy to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And the others will get to notice that. Even if they don't, you know that you're doing your best.
So I think like one thing that I am learning from what you're saying is that it has to come from within first.
Yeah.
Like people can believe in you, like so many people, like 1,000 people can believe in you.
Yeah.
But if you do not believe in yourself, then it's like,
Becomes tricky.
yeah, it doesn't balance. And when you're getting that much fame, it
Yeah.
becomes so overwhelming. Like, what did
does.
I do to deserve this? So it's something that has to come from within, and you just have to tell yourself, like you said, I'm worthy, and show up as a person who is worthy, you know?
Yeah.
So let's go back to because you rushed there. You were rushing like, it's our time, like, you know, but we're still there, but you were rushing. So let's go back to, okay, you find yourself in the space, you're doing slams, and you're asking yourself, okay, I'm winning. What more can I bring? What more can I contribute in this entertainment space? And then it goes to sinking. I think
Yes.
sinking was it sinking or was it side?
Yeah. There was side. There was barter. So okay, let me lay them down actually. So I've actually been part of several productions. Some I've written for them. The first one was Barter. I wrote and performed in it. It was directed by Kenneth.
Yeah.
It was with dancers. I don't know what I'm doing. And then the second one was Side. It was by Kenneth as well, and I wrote.
Yeah.
And then the third one was Dictator Democracy. It was by Usmangali Songoyenya, and then we were mentored by David April.
Yeah.
And then the next one to come was My Baby, my firstborn. It was Sinking. The
Singing.
birth of Project Translation, the birth of the two sign language projects, Sign and Slam and Dance Your Signs. Those came from this. from
That's the one I
Sinking.
want to talk about.
Yes.
Like, I want to ask you, how did that project come about? Like, take us back from you starting, like, sitting down and saying, okay, I want to write about sinking. And, like, what is it that came to your mind? And because now I know it also, I think if I'm not mistaken, it gave birth to Soetry Media.
Yes,
Yes.
that's when Soetry Media
Yeah,
started
so
really
so
blooming.
please do take us, like, how did it become that big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I was like, let's try this thing of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And then the moment that happens, I gathered poems, right? Turned them into a script.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do we tell this story? I had the concept of like working with sign language, South African Sign Language to be specific, to enhance some of the stories and going like, there's a gap that we could use. I was using it as a concept, especially for dance.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have a contemporary dancer, contemporary mover, Muzishili, an amazing dancer.
He's the one who was doing prayers.
No, that's
That's
another-
Vusi.
Yeah, that one
This
is
one is
Vusi.
Muzi. Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
Yeah, I know. I work with a lot of people. That can be confusing. So we had that because I had like put Muzi and then Tavi. So these were the first two people. Tavi he's the one who was playing the bass guitar. I know.
I got
My
chills
favorite.
when I was in there. I was like, who
Yeah.
are these guys?
So yes, it was them. That's the first people that I approached. And then we were like, we have the story. I wanted to tell the story about home.
Yeah.
Right. It being a reflection a bit about the past. It might also be a thing of like how apartheid might have affected us, but I didn't want to tell it with the view of like Soweto, meaning I wasn't there. I don't know the story.
Yeah.
That's where I was telling my own stories, going like, I'll tell about my I don't know what happened in Soweto.
Yeah.
But I know my grandfather was a soldier, and I know he
Yeah.
died in the wars.
The war.
And then
I
how
think
did that?
it's sinking that poem because
Maladies' grave.
Yes, that's the one.
Maladies'
Yes.
grave. So it's one of the things. So it was a timeline of like, this is where I started,
Okay.
and then went into Maladies' grave until it went into where we are now. Because
Yeah.
it went from the beginning until COVID. Because the last piece I remember was on the guy, I called it rumor, the guy who was beaten and he passed on. And then I remember how it came to becoming rumors. Like, I'm trying to do my research. This article says that. This one says that. This one says that.
There
And I
are
was
so
like,
many things. You're like,
I'm like, I'll call it a
confused.
rumor then. I'll call it a rumor. I'll say
Yeah.
they say that. They said that. And that's
Yeah.
how it came to be when it came to like rumor. And then from Sinking, it was the thing of like dancing with sign language.
Yeah.
That was a concept that
Yeah.
happened. And also the concept of, what do we call it? Sign and Slam, the one that we did for the competition.
Yeah.
Whereby I'm speaking at the same time I am signing
Inside.
something.
And you also appeared on, I think, was it Skim Sam?
Oh, yes. It
Because
was
of that,
Skim
but we'll
Sam,
talk
yes.
about that. Let's finish this one up. Yeah.
So that's how we got to have this. And then because Sinking is what even also developed like project translation.
Yeah.
And that's where we had workshops on sign language, on dance, on writing.
The
So
time you were
Sinking-
doing a competition, was it
Yes.
dance something?
Yes, it was the Dance Your Signs. And then which was won by Taylor Peterson.
Okay.
And then Sign and Slam was won by Olive Olusegun.
Okay.
So it was really a time to be alive because you're just seeing these things. Usually we're the ones who are used to being on stage.
Yeah.
And now you're just at the back,
You're
right?
just
You're
watching
just
your
like
work.
having an eagle eye view and going like,
I did this.
yeah. And I had an amazing team.
Yeah.
So Sinking is really a big brother to all these projects
Yeah.
because it laid down the foundation.
So when it comes to, I was thinking yesterday, how do theaters make it? I mean, like having to put your work at theater. I think
Yeah.
you need finances, having people who come and embody your work, like who Vusi, like
Yes.
he did an amazing
right?
job.
Even
I was so excited because I watched the first the time you just released prayers.
Yes.
The first time it came, and I was so excited that to see that it has grown. I kept on hearing people at the background. I think it was last week or last week when we were watching it. They were like, "Yo, this guy can change the characters, like the way he changes characters." So how do you handle that? When it comes in terms of like finances, what do you do? Because you have people who play music in the background, you have people who control the lighting. I don't know if you guys pay for the slots at theaters. Like, how do? You find someone at home is like, I want to do this thing, but then now when it comes to finances, it's
finances are a tricky thing, especially for someone like me who's just, because I'm not officially trained in theater. It's the thing of like, I was just performing in the spaces, I'm in the spaces. I developed some of the skills and I was like, oh, let's try that.
let's go.
So Sinking is my first baby. And I remember there's literally a clip of me, Nolwazi was taking me and she was like, yeah, how is it? And I'm like, next time I'm saying I want to do a show, please ask me if I'm sure. Because
It was rough.
when the money comes in, it passes. Especially because I'm like, guys, come be part of this dream.
Yeah.
Number one, if you are living from far, because I remember Jocelyn was all the way in Pretoria.
Yeah.
There's a
You
thing
have
of like,
to
you can't
finance
use it.
that.
Exactly. They can't be using their own money to come here.
To do your work.
You
You have the dream.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then comes to the thing of like space. Usually it will be a thing of collaboration, right? Or partnership, whereby they're like, oh yeah, let's share ticket sales,
Oh, okay.
which is not going to cover anything.
Anything. That's
right?
true.
Unless if you have funding. And then the funding, the things like the NAC, the National Lottery Council. Which are another thing because now you have to learn the business and the admin side of things.
How to
of
write the
arts.
emails, how to
Now you're doing
approach
proposal.
them.
You wanted to write metaphors. Like, how did we get here? So those are some of the things.
Yeah.
And then some of how I've been able to have money or like have a bit of funds in the theater spaces. Is if someone is calling us and then they're saying we have this little budget.
Okay.
Number one, of course, ticket sales, which barely cover much. And then funding. Yes, I managed to get funding, fortunately, for Sinking.
That's
when it fully came back.
Yeah.
And then I'm a big fan of having people paid their worth, or at least an attempt on that. Because
Yeah.
it's a prayer. It's like a prayer to me.
That's
It's like
true.
when there's something, give it to people, so that when God is looking at you, he's like, hello energy.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's competition. For example, we just won the Zwagala Festival, which was a form of a competition,
Yeah.
right? Meaning that we get a season, we'll have a full budget, right? To have the actual show. So that's how I get to do that. And then besides that, it's when people are calling me on the side, we need a poet.
Oh, then
well,
you go.
That's how it makes sense. So it's a lot of that, especially when the whole responsibility is on you.
It's on you.
Yeah, and it's also not easy for the people that you're calling, because you're calling them, they have to sacrifice their time.
Yes.
There's barely any money that can cover their rent or their food or anything.
So you have to take all that burden upon your shoulders, because you're the one who's having this dream, and you have to write these emails. I remember there are times where on your statuses you would post like where you're just like, oh, okay, another one where like you are rejected, and I'm like, you.
Yeah, a lot.
Because it's more like job hunting when they reject you, and then you're like, you're seated there like, okay. What just happened
What just
for
happened?
a moment, and then you come back, you pick yourself up like,
Yeah.
God, I believe you, like that you will come through. So also tell us, how is it like working with people? Because me, I don't like working with people. I know myself. I'm not patient at all. Like if I'm saying this, and if this is not,
It's
you
not
know, I'm
happening.
not seeing it, then I freak out. How do you handle working with people?
Yo, it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Fortunately, especially from sinking.
Yeah.
Yo, somehow Mudimo nraije mo, like, but Mudimo afika letso fela. They were meaning that, because I mean, I got Budmuzi. The people who know these people would actually agree. I have like Mika Manganye. We have Tabiso Mudikwe,
Yeah.
Touche. We have Jocelyn. You know Jocelyn.
Yes, I do. Ooh,
Yeah.
she's a brilliant singer.
She is. And then we have Gitu Mates. And then you can imagine, and we have Solly. That's me.
You're counting yourself in.
Counting myself.
Yeah.
So they were considerate people beyond the arts. They're not only good at what they do,
Yeah.
they are considerate people.
They
and
understand.
Then, yeah, they understand. They come. I mean, we ran into some who, right, for example,
Hard.
yes, we were supposed to have a saxophonist. And then the guy ghosted us. And then the day before the show, we had to bring in someone else because it was a gap. And then that's when Kitu came.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't really filling the gap as much as she was filling it. She did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? Because she plays the flute. And then, others, you'd just be frustrated with the other people that you run into. Fortunately, I try to be patient. And I'm like, yeah. And then I just look at them.
You
like,
just have to understand.
yeah, and at the same time, I stand my ground. I stand my ground, right? And like, no, look, I can be stubborn at times. I know that. So working with people can be challenging, but at the same time, the blessing of it is that when you're feeling heavy, they sometimes carry the load.
Yeah.
I can give an example with Touche. What Touche did when we were rehearsing for prayers, provided us space for rehearsal. And then after that, one of the days, he's like, oh, I got monitors, like speakers.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, from where? He's like, no, I used my own money. He literally used his own money to get
Shout
us
out
those
to you,
that.
Touche.
So,
Shout
Touche, if you're
out.
watching this, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So that was something I'm like, it's rare. Nobody would just do that.
Yeah,
especially
true.
like when it's someone who's just a cast member and they're like, nothing.
I'll
like,
dig.
Solly should do that.
Yeah.
Solly deal with it. Right. So like running into people like that really like pushes me and like, this production is going to pay us. And then, yeah, fortunately, they would believe in me. I don't know, because I say crazy ideas.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should ask them. I should call them one by one. Like, yay, guys. Like before, like, let's say, like at the back, now you're seeing the fruits. Like at the back now,
Yeah.
what was going through your minds?
What was going
Yeah,
on?
like Yaos just said yes. I just remember Tagiso going like, you know what? I hear you. I think I will get to hear it, but I know you and I know your work, so I'm going to do it. And after we did the project, he came back and was like, yeah, I remember when I told you that. Now I see what you mean with this project.
Yeah.
And then we got to do it, and then we did it well. And then it gets, I get happy when I see people that I work with do more beyond the production that we have.
Yeah.
I was so happy like after Zwagala, like where like almost everyone are being recognized, from the musicians to Vosi. They're taking their numbers. I'm like, take them and pay them. Do
Take
that.
them and pay them.
Yes. So that's what
Yeah.
would be happening. And I just be like, God, things happened. I'm happy. And even if it's that little bit of contribution that I'll have to make towards someone's life, even if it's just giving them a little bit of a smile, I'm happy about that. It makes me smile. So that's the ups and downs of working with people. They can be a drag.
Yeah,
At the same time, they
but
can be an elevator.
a blessing, a huge one. So how does it feel sitting back? I remember when I was there watching prayers, and you know, your friends would hype you up, like they would laugh because I was sitting like at the back of your friends, like boom. What's his name?
Was it Masai? Was it
Masai,
Jonathan?
yeah. Sitting there, and they would hype you up, and they would be so happy. How does it feel, you know, seeing people coming to watch your work?
I'm
overflowing because people were just coming in.
They were just coming in. Like I was like, you guys are here. You guys came. You guys showed up. And one thing about my friends, you guys are amazing. If there's one thing that I'm blessed with is friends and people who just show up.
Yeah.
So the people who show up, I'm like, am I even worthy? But I just go there and just relax because they calm me down.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm glad that they're here, that they get to experience this, and that there are more people who are getting to experience this. And it keeps me going. Also, I can't relax. My friends work so hard.
They work, ne?
Yeah, so you're there, you're like, I'll laze around this week. Chikiji Kimoto is there having an exhibition, and you're like, how?
Njani.
I thought they are rest.
I thought we were resting. I thought we were taking it slow. Njani.
Exactly.
But it's so great, man. Hearing your story and how you grew into the creative space, which has its own ups and downs. Like, as we said, working with people and other things, the admin that is involved. But I feel like at the end, it's rewarding just to sit back and be like, wow, I wrote that, I did that, I directed that. So another thing I wanted us to touch into, it's the sign language. How did you even like get yourself in that space? And which it was a beautiful thing, because most people when they are working, they don't look at those sides. It's okay, we have people who can sign. So how did you get there?
The funny part is that this was an idea when I was in grade 11, I remember.
You lie.
Yeah, and I remember printing it out. I hope I find that paper. And then I like showed it to Kole, and Kole was like, oh yeah, I know, like there's this lady called Nzieng Mohoro. I didn't actually find her. I only not really ran into her, I saw her online. I was like, oh, this is the person.
Okay.
But yeah, the thing was on the side, and then it came back. 2021 I was like, oh Philip, let's do this. And then when NAC came, I was like, let me just apply, and then it got in. So that way it was a thing of like, I was not familiar with the spaces because I can't sign to save my life, right? Amande usually scolds me because like when we have a meeting, she usually is the one who leads everything sign language.
Okay.
We literally have to text, even if like we hear,
Then we talk like that. I text, I give you, then you text.
It was for the first time where it wasn't weird texting and going like.
How was the experience? How was the space? How did it feel?
It felt different. And I was like, oh, Fliv, I want to learn. If there's something, one of the things that I want to learn, it's actually that.
Yeah.
So getting to meet some people. So right now it's that thing of like when I see people signing, like I could just
you can
get
just
in.
get in
I'm like,
and also
guys,
have a
don't leave me
conversation.
behind. Like Nami, I want to do some movements.
Yeah.
Right. So when that happened, I was like, I don't know sign language yet, but can be a way of highlighting the importance of sign language.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. And when we had the competitions, would have someone who signs out there. And then we had Abram Mohaya. Yeah,
They will forgive you.
Yes, Mahaya. Yes, Mahaya. Yes.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not mispronouncing it because I assumed it's said that way.
Okay.
He also signs, and then he was one of the guests that came. He does marathons, just holding that, advocating for sign language to actually be the 12th official language,
Okay.
which it is now. Shout out
Really?
to that.
I didn't even know.
We now have sign language as their 12th official language. So shout out to everyone who contributed to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's no longer 11 now, it's 12. So
So we can go there and learn how to sign.
yeah, so
That's
it's that kind of
nice.
like it's now. I don't know why it took that long, but yeah, fortunately we are there now.
We are glad though that even if it took long, it's now in the space, you know.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to ask is about the Skim Something. Like, what made
yes.
you choose that particular project or that particular poem and say, you know what, I want to take this even like further, like where there are many people who are watching this production, and I want it to be there.
Well, how it started was that I got contacted by Mutabo Mkabela, who is actually now casting director, I think he is.
Okay.
You guys know him as Lishol. So
Oh,
yeah, he's
okay,
like, oh
yeah.
yeah, bro, you guys must show up. We need this and that here. And then yeah, we showed up. They were just like, yeah, I have a poem. It was for Human Rights Day, not Heritage.
Yeah.
Human Rights Day. I was like, yeah, what do I do? And then I was excited because syncing was happening. It was before syncing was happening.
Yeah.
Because we recorded it before syncing.
Yeah.
So the money that they paid me, they went into syncing. Didn't even taste it. Yeah. So
Let them call you again. Call
Yes,
him
they
again.
better.
Call him again. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it happened. And then we go there, and then we do that, and then they make me wear that hat because I don't own a hat. A hat like that. So
Yeah.
it was a beautiful space because I was with like Gaddafi as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at least
yeah.
I wasn't alone because
Oh,
it was
yeah, I
gonna be
know Gaddafi.
weird when I'm in new spaces.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there like where do
I don't
go?
know anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still that thing of like as much as I talk much and I'm comfortable at the same time, when I'm in new spaces, I'm like, where do we start?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that would happen.
It was just nice. It's nice seeing. I love seeing creatives growing. Like, I'm a big fan of creatives. I'm a big fan of ads. I wanted to do ads, but my mom was like,
Don't you dare.
Yeah. So I ended
Go
up.
on and do coding.
I ended up in the arts space, but then I think arts is my first love, and
Yeah.
I love seeing people growing. So now you find there's someone who's like, oh, Soetry, I want to collaborate with you.
Yeah.
I want to work with you. Where do they find you before we move on into other things? You can address the people.
I almost stole a joke and just turned around and be like, if you want to follow me, this is what I look like from behind. But I'm not going to do that. So on Facebook, my personal account, Solly Ramatswi, so Solly, and then Ramatswi is long. And then at the same time, we have the Facebook page, which is Soetry Media. Then Instagram and Twitter. I don't use Twitter that much, but I visit it sometimes. It's at Soetry_SA. Again, at Soetry_SA. So yeah, that's actually where you can get me, unless if you want to book me. My email is mr and then Soetry being like SOETRY @gmail.com. And then so you can view the page, you'll find my numbers.
Girls, they are raising their eyebrows when you're But guys, please do book Soetry. Please do book and pay.
Yes.
Book and pay, because Nina, but must you will have the exposure. It doesn't work like that. Pay him, book him, and pay him. You can book him for your any event, right?
Yes.
Funerals,
Weddings.
parties,
Like getting married
weddings, everything. Book him,
Yes.
please. So if you describe Solly, let me not say Soetry.
Yes.
If you describe Solly, using 3 words, what would you say?
Hopeful. Stubborn.
You like the stubborn word.
And loving.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So that just sums it. But I think it's nice having the stubborn spirit.
Yeah.
Because it makes you push even when you want to give up. So that's a great one. And before you leave, like we said, you're gonna bless us with something. You can't live here without blessing my people. Guys, they can't live without blessing you. So I'll give you 3 names that come to my mind. And then you have to kind of like come up with a line or a sentence or poetry kind of thing or a paragraph, ne? So let's start. Let me see. I want to give you, like, I want to challenge you, Soetry. Like, I want to challenge you so that when you're sitting there, you're like, So, okay, let's start with green because there's a lot of green around the room.
Yes. Oh, you're giving me one by one?
Yes.
Okay. When last did I do this? Your poem.
Even if you can say instability.
Okay.
I'm
The green
challenging
in
you.
your eyes remind me of home, of the places and the streets I used to wander. Now I miss my mother's cooking just by looking at you.
I think I would do it. Okay, second word would be, I don't want to say home because you have so many poems about home.
So I'll just pull one out from the poem.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, I think one, I would say love because you hardly write about love.
Yeah.
You hardly write about it. You write mostly about home, love.
The warmth of your breath reminds me of what love can be. And more of it tells me what love is.
Okay. Like there's nothing that's challenging him, guys. Now I'm mad.
Thanks to see your speech.
Now I'm so mad. Let's go with something that's let's say overflowing.
Overflowing.
Yeah.
From the edge of your lips overflows hope. My ears open to the embrace of your words. And just like that, I sit at the table, coffee getting cold, just to listen to you.
Okay. Like then my question is, why are you not writing love poems? Because you write about home. I think it's not even a love poem, guys. Prayers.
Yeah.
It's like a heartbreak. Like
Yeah, it's a whole heartbreak
it's a whole.
production.
He put his heart into that play. If you, you know what? When will you bring it again so people can come and watch?
Yeah, good point. It's coming back. I don't know when yet because I'm still to have a meeting with the Market Theatre.
Yeah.
We're going to have a whole season, meaning that it will be performing not only on 1 day or 2 days, but hopefully a week or so. Hopefully down the year. I don't know if it's going to be like August, September, October, but we will. We must make sure that we prepare. So you guys,
You want to add more characters?
Yes. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So, but stay tuned. Just follow me. You'll actually see the post updates.
Yay!
So, yes.
So please, before we wrap up, because we have like 12 minutes, before we wrap up, 12 minutes plus 5 for you to say, give us something before you leave. So please do tell us about your new work because I saw on your status that you're working on something. I'm so excited.
Yes. So what else? So a thing that I want to do is have different plays that will at the end become one. So it's like telling one story in different ways.
Okay.
Not really one story in different ways, but having people in the same environment or same moment in time have their stories told in different ways from their own perspectives.
Oh.
We have prayers. We have Maropeng now.
Okay.
So yes, we have it's called Madi Patling. It just played like Onako and Nash did an amazing job. So I can't wait for you guys to see that one. I'm gonna extend it and stretch it and hopefully because I'm already conceptualizing another one because that's what I want to do this year.
Yeah.
Right. And it was fun because it was for the first time when I gave someone the script and I didn't direct it before.
Yeah.
So
now
usually I'm like, let me direct it before and then I'll give it to someone maybe after as it goes on.
Oh, then
So
you
this
can
one,
let someone direct it. So, but now you're just like,
I was like, take the script, and it was so
Directed.
fun.
Will you be part of the actors? Because I saw you were like, I've been writing, I've been doing this, but now I'm Megas, coming and play. Oh, what?
No,
Why?
not for that one. I will write poems and visit the stage and have maybe
You're
we'll see how
disappointing us. We want to see you acting there on theater. Now you. So you should
fact.
come back.
Fun fact is that last year, I don't consider myself an actor yet because I ran away from it. I got 2 acting related or something closer to acting, and somehow I got paid for them. It was so fun. I was like, oh, I'm just getting.
Why
in,
are you
getting paid.
running away if like they are following you? It's like education. It's following you, but you're running. Oh my god.
I would definitely do it, especially when the money's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
You should
let's do this. I'm like,
definitely
oh, hell
consider
yeah.
it.
I'm sending an invoice.
Yes, guys, you should pay our artists. Nina.
Yeah.
So, with this time that we're left with, wait, guys, please do not forget to follow Sun Studios. Please do not forget to hit them up. Look at their Instagram page, which is Sun Studios, and also look at their website. It's www.sunstudios.com. Please do look them up, guys. They are very reasonable when it comes to the pricing, and you get this beautiful studio.
Right.
It's so nice, right?
It really is. I
You
even
should
took
tell
pictures
you
of
should
this.
tell your content creators to come here
They better.
and do their podcast here. We'll
Even I
handle-
should be like, yeah, I'm coming back. Don't think this is the last time I'm here.
Yes.
Look, guys, they're sweet.
Yeah. Free sweets, free water.
Yeah,
come,
I'm
come,
eyeing
come,
them
come,
right
come,
now.
come. You guys should come, and please do not forget to follow me on Instagram, @Chiane, Jiane, and also on Facebook, which is Isabella. What? Isabella Bridget Gianni. I even forget my handles, guys. And yeah, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. So as we are about to close, Soetry will remind us on where to get him again. And then after, he will hit us up with something that's nice, just to say bye.
So, Solly Ramatswi on Facebook, Soetry Media on Facebook, the page, at Soetry_SA, Instagram and Twitter, Mr. Soetry, which is MRSOETRY @gmail.com. That's where you get me.
Okay, please do hit us up with some yummies before we go.
Let's see. It's sad, but yeah. It was one of the darkest evenings ever, and I was with her by the river. Our feet barely at the banks, our memories shy and in a village of trees. We leaned towards the silence to watch a wild goat drink from the same river the moon fell into. Tonight, the sky is nothing but the size of a river. Without falling, a frog leaped from star to star. That frog was me before I fell for her. And my eyes tripped to mute the questions loud in her stare. And she asked me, why are we here? And I laughed out loud like bad grammar. My whole body became a mouth and I spoke to her. I told her I don't want to stop being by your side. I've changed my mind about leaving. I know the moon will remain even if I drink all of this river. I knew a boy will remain in your arms even if I give it my all. I knew on our river was a moon floating like a mistake. You've been going to church more often, she said, blinking between the language our eyes spoke. Her eyes slightly closed as if she wanted to pinch my reflection with her eyelids. I wanted to tell her why I go to church more. I wanted to tell her it is not faith but a heartbreak, but I couldn't. Instead, I opened my mouth trying to unsing a heartbreak with a kiss, but she stopped me, covered her mouth with her grandmother's scarf, and she frowned in fabric. And I knew I couldn't kiss between her grandmother's fingers of wool. And the frog stopped leaping. It was over. Thank you.
Guys, this is why you should book him. There's still more. He should be writing. We must keep him busy, guys. Please do book him, and pay him and pay him and pay him thousands of millions. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode until this far. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your families, your friends. Let's make Soetry famous. Let's make me famous. Let's make Sense Studio famous. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.